Let's head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey, Dave. Love the show, man. Long-time viewer. I just have a question for you. With the latest rumors and news of the Browns trying to trade for Chris Olave from New Orleans, and then you see that the Falcons are putting Kyle Pitts on the trade block, and I heard that Cleveland was one of the 6 teams interested. Is there truth behind this? Because it's like they're trying to make a splash with a receiver or something. Let the cat out of the bag, if you may. Let us know. What do you think's going on? Just want to hear your thoughts. Go Browns. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Jeff, I would say Andrew Berry's probably reached out, but I don't know that anything's imminent with either of those. Those are the type of trades Andrew Berry has found a way to make and be successful making.
Well, I mean, the Olave one is interesting because, the Browns obviously made 2 significant wide receiver moves, in the last few years. The Amari Cooper one, where Dallas was in a weird financial thing there. They weren't comfortable with the money for Amari Cooper. They had no problem with what Amari Cooper was giving them on the field. It was the money. It was time to give more to CeeDee Lamb. And, Jerry Jeudy, he was underachieving. And that's when the Browns struck on that. Olave, the only reason the numbers are even kind of low has been the missed time. Now, for me, going to get Olave is not going to be, the Andrew Berry sneaking in the middle of the night. Olave would probably require, a much higher valued draft choice than certainly the 5th round picks that were given up for Amari Cooper or certainly Jerry Jeudy. If the Saints, and I don't know why necessarily they would even be putting Olave on the market, because the issue is what you think he's worth, then you factor in the head injuries. It's probably hard to really establish what the true value for Chris Olave is. Not to mention, if you're New Orleans and you're going to try to give, Tyler Shock a legit shot here or any of those young quarterbacks, taking Chris Olave away from any of those quarterbacks is probably not a good move as far as trying to help those quarterbacks improve and grow within the game. The Kyle Pitts thing, that's an absolute no for me. Kyle Pitts' play has gone steadily down since his rookie year. Kyle Pitts now will be a free agent at the end of the year. So the Cleveland Browns just made this investment in a Harold Fannin at 20 years old. And now you're going to tell me you're going to trade away a draft asset for a guy who most likely would only be with you for 1 year. And you're basically going to block the move you just made for a 20-year-old who you think can work in pair with David Njoku and kind of learn on the fly. And if anybody would know about being an extremely young player at the tight end position early in his career, it would be David Njoku. You tell me I can have one of them, I'd certainly be interested in Chris Olave. But Kyle Pitts, for me, it's just a no. He's not a true tight end. We saw David work his way from being this big athletic guy to working into a true, legitimate, full-time tight end. Kyle Pitts, I think it sounds nice, but, if we're not really sure what the quarterbacks can give us this year, how are you going to have a guy who's kind of fallen apart, since his rookie year, now here in a contract year? And, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever to make a move for Kyle Pitts.